Week 2 is here, and it's time to go undefeated, right? Because everyone's going 2-0 today.
Yeah, I was.
I completely cut you off there with the music, Tony. My bad. But yeah, we are here for week 2, and I'll tell you who's not going 2-0. This guy right here below me, right, Joe? Tell the people how you're
Tell
going
you
to.
who is going 2-0. The Raiders.
Oh my gosh, Raiders losing, and Joe's losing to Mike this week in fantasy football. It's gonna be a great week.
I don't want to live in a world where the Raiders are 2-0. Like I had to go to the doctor this week, and I walked in, and the guy was like, I had on a Charger sweatshirt. He's like, yeah, sorry, sir, we can't serve you. And I didn't get it at first. Then I saw he had a little Raiders lanyard.
Oh,
I'm like, you're bitter when you're in first place in the AFC West. You better enjoy this time. You should be happy.
Think about a world, Tony. Think about a world in about 3 hours from now, or 4 hours, where the Raiders are 2-0, the Chiefs are 0-2, the Chargers are 0-2, and the Broncos are 0-2.
Well, the Bills.
That's not a world you want to live in.
The Bills would be 0-2 too.
Yeah. So the Chargers be in the wild card picture.
At 0-2?
They would be, right?
They would be for sure. The first half, the Raiders actually looked kind of good. In the second half, I was like, oh, here come the Raiders that I know and love. Like, even though they won the game, still the tackling was bad. It just was. I'm fine with it. Good for the Raiders. You won.
The Raiders that Joker's talking about here, watching old VHS tapes when they actually made the playoffs. All right. Well, we are answering your guys' starts and sits. If you guys want to come to the YouTube chat, you're here on TikTok. We'll answer your starts and sits. Fire them away in the chat, everybody. Our first one here is from Ethan. We got Drake London. Oh, go ahead, Tony.
No, I was just gonna butt talk a little shit about Ethan. Finish the question. He's over here.
Oh yeah. Drake London, Josh Kelly, Puka Nacua, or Najee Harris, Tony.
Okay, so he's over here calling Herbert mid, and he seems to be a Raiders fan because he's saying, tell him, Joe. So, Ethan, I'm going to give you the advice to start Joshua Kelly against the Tennessee Titans defense. They're not very good against the run. Jeffrey Simmons he's mid. Like in this question here, I think you got to start Najee Harris. Like with everybody on here, I'm looking at it. I think that it's a nice bounce back opportunity. The only reason that I'm a little nervous is how good the front seven looked for the Browns in that first week. So I'd go Najee Harris, but if I had to go in a different direction, I'm going with the Drake London bounce back. I don't think it's one target again this week. I think it's a bigger week for him.
Yeah, I'll go Najee too. Just on the plain fact that it's only week 2, Ethan. And I assume that where you drafted Najee, he's got to be one of the studs on your team, man. You can't give up on him this quickly. If you gave up on him this quickly to put him on the bench for Josh Kelly, then I think you should trade Najee Harris. Let's keep it going here. Joe, what do you think on this one? Okay, we'll keep it going. Let's see. TD's is in here.
TD. Shake him if you got him, brother.
First time back this year. You didn't get stopped by last week. Hope all is good with y'all and the families. Thanks, TDs. Appreciate you so much.
There it is.
What's up, buddy?
Right
love that profile pic. Go Herb. How are we late? I'll take the blame, guys. I'll take the blame. I had to get my hair nice and combed. Had to get the coffee brewed. Oh boy, we got some Raiders 2-0 shit. Okay, where are the fantasy questions? Let's not talk about the Raiders here.
I said there's a couple more coming up as you scroll down further.
I found one here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tutu Atwell or George Pickens. I'm going Pickens. You got to go Pickens. But what do you think, Tony?
I think this is kind of interesting because the reason in the first question I didn't pick Puka Nacua was the oblique injury, right? When he suffered that, it seemed like it was something that was done in practice. Then he missed a full day, and he's a rookie. Usually those guys will try to fight through it. So I think Tutu has a chance to be the number one target in this game. I mean, so does Pickens because Deontay Johnson's out with the hamstring injury. But honestly, RC, I don't think you could go wrong. I think I would start Pickens.
I said this last week and I was wrong, Renee, so take it with a grain of salt. The Rams offense is going to suck this year, and it's going to suck this week. I'm going to keep saying that because it's going to happen, and it might be now. Joe, you got to take on this one?
I agree. The Rams offense, one good week 1, they surprised some people. Not going to happen again.
Yeah, you two bozos told me how terrible they were. How terrible everything about the Rams was. And they went out there and they slapped the Seahawks in week 1. That's
how many yards do the Rams have this week? How many total offensive yards do you think the Rams get this week?
I think about 200 total offense.
That's good. That's great offense for you?
No, that's not good. But they're playing the 49ers.
Yeah, last week they played the Seahawks. That we just overestimated and thought the Seahawks had a better defense than they did. Seahawks defense still sucks.
I was shocked. That was the most shocked I was last week, was seeing that score come across the screen. Because that was like one of the only games I wasn't watching. I was like, Rams are going to have to deal with that up there. It's going to be a problem. And then I see the score come across. I'm like, what happened? What happened?
It was brutal on the rewatch. All right, let's get through these questions. We got a lot of people in here. If you're new, please consider subscribing to MJT Football every Sunday morning. We talk a little fantasy. It's fun. During the week, we do some other fun stuff. We get the questions in, and we'll give you the best, worst advice you've ever gotten.
Exactly. And help us out by liking the stream real quick. Just hit that thumbs up. Take a second, and it helps out the channel a lot. All right, back on the grind here. T. Higgins or Tyler Lockett. I think that this Ravens-Cincinnati game is going to be a thriller, Steven. I think it's going to be fun to watch. I don't necessarily think it's going to be like 35-35. I think it is going to be a close game. Both teams are going to be throwing to the end. They're going to need big plays from their guys. I would put T. Higgins in. But what do you think, Tony?
Well, we all know my boy Steven's playing for 2-0 because this guy never loses at anything. Picks, nothing. I'm going to go with T. Higgins. You drafted him. He still had 8 targets. Like that. That's the result that we want, is the 8 targets. And I think the Seahawks' chance this week is to work the middle of the field with Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. Maybe get him going a little bit this week. So that might eat into Tyler Lockett's ability.
I think Joe's just muted, Ethan. He's talking to the TikTok chatters.
He's a huge TikTok star now.
And I'm going T. Higgins.
T. Higgins it is. He got 3 touches here over here for T. Higgins. So
he's living.
Put him in, Steven. Put him in. All right. On to Colby's question here. Colby's asking Josh Kelly, Rachaad White, or Tyler Lockett. Back in another one here. I'll let you go first on this one, Joe.
I'm going with Rachaad White. Why not? He's going up against the Bears. That didn't look that good. Their defense didn't look good last week. I know what Josh Kelly did, but I like Rachaad White, especially out of the passing game this week.
Okay, so just to get this clear, Rachaad White struggled against the Vikings defense, who then gave up 477 yards rushing to DeAndre Swift on Thursday night. Rachaad White looked like maybe the 3rd best running back on the Bucs last week. It was not a good performance.
So just like, okay, let's just bash Joe Day.
No, I'm just saying that Sean Tucker looked like the better running back for the Bucs when I watched the game. I was like, oh, here we go. Oh, that's not Rachaad White. This is the other kid. And so I'm not starting Rachaad White till I see something different from the Buccaneers offensive line. I'm going to go with Tyler Lockett, Colby.
You did come in Raiders gear, Joe. You should expect a little bit of hate. Kind of a part of the
I came in winning gear today. You guys came in Charger gear, which if last time I checked is at the bottom of their division.
People don't hate the Chargers, though. No matter where the Raiders are ranked in the standings, everyone loves the Chargers.
That's how the song goes, Joe. We started from the bottom. Now we're here. Is that what it is? There it is. A couple weeks, we'll just be singing that when we're in first place in the division. Drizzy Drake.
I would probably go Tyler Lockett, also Colby, but my own bias would put Josh Kelly in that lineup. I'm telling you. So don't listen to my bias. No one's mic is broken. Joe just muted. Yeah. Thank you, Zero. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Like how a lot of people are doubting the Raiders. Let's fucking go. Yeah, because when people doubt the Raiders,
everybody hating on the Raiders today. Go ahead. Let's go. What's up, Joseph?
When people doubt the Raiders, when people doubt the Raiders, they always win. Always.
If the Raiders win, I'm going to be so annoyed and so upset if the Raiders beat the Bills.
I'll be happy, man. Knock down the wild card competition because we know the Raiders are going to absolutely collapse at some point. Anyways, Higbee or Henry? Okay, in this situation, I would probably go Higbee. But I'm not expecting like this monster game from the Rams. I'm just thinking that at least Stafford's getting a lot of pressure. He's got to get that ball out quick, and he likes to go to Higbee as a little safety blanket over the middle of the field a lot. But those linebackers are there feasting as well. It's close, but I just don't trust the Patriots passing offense to consistently target Henry.
It's interesting because he probably is the best pass catcher on the team, right? Like him or Gesicki. I mean, Kendrick Bourne he's a good player, but I don't think anybody's like, oh, we got to design packages for this guy. With the Higbee situation, it's Matthew Stafford's favorite target. But then again, you have really great linebacker coverage. So I'm gonna go Henry on this one.
I'm gonna go Henry as well.
There you go, Strive. Put in Hunter Henry. And when Higbee scores more, you can be like, wow, Mike, you're such a genius.
Like, oh, Mike.
I should start Henry Ruggs. You ain't going to score any fantasy points, tell you that much. Good morning, boys. Good morning, Harrison. How you been, bro?
I think the family of the incident of Henry Ruggs would love that joke. I think they would love that joke.
Let's just move on. We don't need to talk about it or nothing.
The family of Henry Ruggs. I don't care about the family of Henry Ruggs. I care about the
family of the incident.
Oh, yeah.
I think they'd be like, Harrison, what a great joke, Harrison. They'd be all in love with Harrison right now.
Tony, you're getting some more wishes right here.
Thank you, Damien.
Damien's here for you.
Good enough to be here today.
Raheem Mostert or AJ Dillon, y'all? Go ahead, Tony. Tell the people.
AJ Dillon. I sent you guys a text at one point, and he was like 6 carries for -8 yards in the game. There's this thing that you think in your head that you're like, what doesn't add up? The guy looks like Earl Campbell, but then plays like Trenton Richardson. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Because I see him, I'm like, this guy should be a monster. He's not there. I probably would still start AJ Dillon just because I think he's going to get a lot more work in this game. You know, like the Dolphins offense, I still think they're going to pass the football. Like the Patriots run defense is for real. I don't think that Mike McDaniel's just going to come out and be like, oh, we need to run it with Raheem Mostert 25 times in this game. I still think it's going to be trying to pass the ball. So I'd start AJ Dillon.
I'm going AJ Dillon as well. No Aaron Jones? Go ahead.
I don't trust AJ Dillon, but that's who I would play. I got Raheem Mostert sat for some random players this week. I forget which player I put in for him in the Vampire League where I couldn't draft a team, so I'm kind of like desperate. I think it was Kelly and another running back, like another high seal. Oh, Tyler Algier and Kelly over Mostert. So hopefully that goes well. Kelly or Najee, and here we go with this again. I think you got to play Najee, man. You can't be benching Najee. Like, your draft didn't go well if you're benching your top 4, first 4-round pick in the second week of the season.
Everybody's scared of week 1, of what happened week 1, and what happened when you guys all benched DeAndre Swift, right? What happened? Then he had a big game bounce back, and 76% of people who had Swift benched him. So you guys want to take that shot again? Go ahead and bench Najee then if you want to. But I'm taking Najee this week.
No wiser words have ever been said by somebody wearing a Raiders shirt. Najee. This Josh Kelly stuff, it's fun. And if you don't have a better option, go with it. But this Titans rush defense is for real. You don't really want that kind of smoke.
We're going to be throwing the football.
I hope so.
Oh, here we go. Kelly or Dalvin Cook now. This is closer.
I think I would go Dalvin Cook because the way to beat the Jets or the way to beat the Cowboys is for them to run the football. So at least you got that going for you. You're going to want to – the game plan should be let's have Zach throw it 20 times and let's let Cook and Brees carry the ball 40 to 45 times in the game. Like that should be the game plan going in for the Jets today. So Dalvin Cook?
Yeah, this may be a lose-lose scenario here, Pedro. I probably would play Cook as well. I would.
I feel uncomfortable giving somebody advice to start Josh Kelly while I'm wearing a Charger shirt and I'm not starting Josh Kelly where I have like 3 opportunities to start him.
Yeah, I mean, I would never be biased either. Let's keep it rolling here. Putting Dalvin Cook, Pedro, but yeah, that's a tough spot. You got 2 bad matchups there with those 2 guys. All right, David Montgomery, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Or AJ Dillon. I just had like a brain glitch with Ty Montgomery. I almost said Ty Montgomery. It almost came out of my mouth. David Montgomery or AJ Dillon. I would play David Montgomery, but I wouldn't have a lot of confidence. I don't know if there's any other options, Trevi. But Tony, who would you play in this situation?
Speaking of Ty Montgomery, I was shocked to see him still pretty active for the Patriots.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was still getting those kind of minutes in the league, so good for him.
Yeah, Bill Belichick's got these monsters, former All-Pros at running back, and he's like, let's get Ty Montgomery out there.
I've been reading a lot of this, hey, we got to increase the workload for Jahmyr Gibbs situation. I don't think that necessarily hurts the goal line, 10 to 12 carries that they're going to get from David Montgomery. So I just like the Lions offense better than I like the Packers offense. And I know everybody's obsessed with what they did. They played the Chicago Bears defense.
Yeah. There should be room to run on that Seattle D-line. It's not an elite D-line either. It's just, middle of the pack D-line as far as player for player. And they didn't perform very well last week with Cam Akers. Cam Akers had a big game against the Seattle defense. So, yeah, I think David Montgomery is your play here. Even if he sees limited carries, I think even if he saw the same amount of carries as week 1, you're still relying on him scoring that touchdown. There's a chance David Montgomery breaks a big play open. But it seems like they're bringing him in to go north and south, and that's kind of what he's coached to do here. So let's see what happens. Put Montgomery in. What do you guys think about Laporta this week from Detroit? Last week, the targets was very promising. It seems like Jared Goff was looking 87's way often. And that's very promising. I don't know if he scored a touchdown. He didn't score a touchdown in that game, though, did he? Or did he?
No, he didn't. They had 2 offensive touchdowns. I think it was
Monra and Dave Montgomery. Yeah, he can get in the end zone, and this Lions offense can start converting these third downs and keep the ball moving. Laporta could sneak his way into the conversation for week to week starting tight end.
I think the best thing and the most encouraging thing for fantasy football fans is this draft is going to give us 3 or 4 usable tight ends to go along with the fact that hopefully Kyle Pitts at some point is traded away. I was hoping Bodo would come in here at some point so I could apologize because he told us not to do the Kyle Pitts thing and it was very scarily close. I think Sam Laporta looked really good, and that's the most encouraging part. He didn't look lost. He understood what he was supposed to do. He found space on a couple plays. If he doesn't fall down, he probably has a bigger day on one of them.
I'm thinking about trading Mike Evans for Scary Terry and Amon-Ra. The side getting Scary Terry and Amon-Ra is absolutely fleecing Davion. So if you're getting Amon-Ra, if you got Amon-Ra for Mike Evans straight up, take it immediately and just pretend like you didn't do it because the rest of your league's gonna be rioting.
Yeah, I would take Mike Evans for either one of those players. But yeah, good for you. Good for you. Who is this person?
Go get them both, Davion. Hey, by the way, everybody that's tuned in right now, please help us out by liking the stream, subscribing to the channel, turn on notifications. We're live often. We were live a couple times last week. We'll be live a couple times again this week. All right, Isaiah Pacheco or Josh Kelly is the options here, Tony. And Joker, you have to go Kelly, bro. You can't go Isaiah Pacheco in this situation.
I would start Isaiah Pacheco.
No, Tony. Tell the man to back his bolts and put Josh Kelly in there. We want to lose fantasy games over losing, I don't know, losing in real life, I guess. We can still win with a bad Kelly performance. So I don't even know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the point is that, I think that what we saw from the Chargers rushing attack was a little bit given to them, right? That. I think that's the interesting thing about the Patriots-Dolphins game today, Mike, because is Vic Fangio going to do that thing where he's going to be we'll let you run for 230 yards because Bill Belichick will run for 350 yards. Yeah. He won't do what the Chargers did where it was let's go empty set on 3rd and 1. He'll be nope, we'll put in a big package and we're going to smash down your throat.
Yeah, and then just when you think you've had enough and you've been beat up by Zeke and Ramondre Stevenson all day and Ty Montgomery, I guess. Yeah. in comes Malik Cunningham in a Wildcat scheme, and then they're running the ball down the field too. Like, Jesus.
I like Zeke today. If anybody has any Zeke questions, if you need him and you're hurting, I would play Zeke.
Zeke or Josh Kelly?
I'd play Zeke.
Zeke?
Yeah.
Pierce and James Cook are popping off today. You think so, Tony? Buffalo in Vegas?
I really hope so.
In Buffalo, not in Vegas.
What do you mean?
The game today, it's not in Vegas, it's in Buffalo. I thought it was in Vegas for a second.
Oh yeah, I'm more worried about Dameon Pierce, where I kind of went with like a 0 RB type strategy, and he's my top guy in one of my leagues.
Oh man, yeah.
I still won because my wide receivers are nasty, but to win more this year, I'm gonna need him to get more than he got last week.
Yeah, I've got a league where I had J.K. Dobbins, Brian Robinson, Dameon Pierce, and I was like, okay, now I think I drafted him earlier, but I took the chance that Jonathan Taylor is going to come back and play this year. I was like, once he gets back here, what the receivers I was able to get because of that, this team's going to be stacked. All J.K. Dobbins needs to do is make it 4 weeks. Sorry, J.K. We're rooting for you, man.
Yeah,
so Pierce is in for me too, Tony. So we can root for him together to have a surprise performance there. Just have a good game. Start 2, Rachaad White, Tyler Lockett, and Josh Kelly. We were talking about it earlier. Rachaad White having that ugly performance last week, Tony. He's on your bench in this situation, right?
So I've been a little harsh with Rachaad White, but where you drafted him, they're playing the Bears, right?
That's true. They are playing the Bears.
So I would probably go with Rachaad White and Tyler Lockett. Like we as Chargers fans, we love what they did last week. The Titans are for real. Look, go back and watch what the Titans did to Jamal Williams, who's a similar style runner to Josh Kelly.
It feels a little touchdown dependent for Kelly this week. Everyone's getting on it just because it's the only time that Eckler's ever been out in the history of time. And they're like, oh, is he going to do what Eckler did? I'm willing to bet that Kelly comes out in a lot of obvious passing situations. Times that Austin Eckler would just be sitting on the field and, have the ability to make another play outside of the run game. I think Kelly's probably be coming to the sideline for either Spiller or Dotson. So fun. Yay. Montgomery or Dillon. Didn't we answer this one? We went Montgomery, right?
Yeah, we did. I went Montgomery.
All right. He's got a stacked team this year. TDs has Herbert, Eckler, Barkley, Gibbs, James Cook, Lamb, A.J. Brown, Ridley, Waddle, Kelsey, Eagles D, and 49ers D. Looks like you had the cheat sheet, TDs, because this is all of my favorite players, basically.
Yeah, is this a 3-man league? Like you got one person as a bye every other week?
Loaded roster. Kelly or Najee? We went Najee already on that one earlier in the show. You want to go watch our explanations, just rewind, try and find it. Tyler Lockett or Dameon Pierce at flex? Interesting choice here. You assume that, obviously, Pierce is going to get the volume out of these two, but Tyler Lockett has that big play potential that could happen any week. He could score a 50-yard touchdown today on this Lions defense for sure. But what do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I do like Tyler Lockett being indoors this week, but I'm going to go with that Dameon Pierce is a bounce back week. Looks good. Maybe 85 yards and a touchdown type of a deal for Pierce. A little bit of passing game work, ends up with about 16, 17 points. I feel good about that.
I would play Pierce as well, Eddie, but just keep in mind, I'm a little bit biased against Tyler Lockett this year because I've made some ballsy JSN claims and moves. Just saying. Kupp still got to come back. Yeah, he's going to be out for the first 4 weeks at minimum, Joseph, but he should be back this year at some point. I was telling Tony that the hamstring injury in training camp is never a good sign or outlook for the season. You guys should all avoided him in your drafts.
Let's not argue about what you said and didn't say. Let's go.
With Eckler out, do I start Gibbs, James Cook, or Kelly? I would still go with Gibbs and James Cook.
Yeah, I would go with the first two.
Yeah, don't overthink it too much. I think Gibbs is going to have a big game today.
Here's the thing.
At least a touchdown.
If Kelly goes off, great news for our offensive line. It's clearly top 3 in the league. Like if they can block up and allow this guy to go for 100 yards and a touchdown today, great news.
Mozart or AJ Dillon for the flex. Bijan and Pollard are his 1 and 2. That's a great duo there at the top of your lineup, Jeremy. You got any other options in free agency? I mean, this is a tough choice, man. I don't like Mozart going up against the Patriots defense. They also got a few other backs involved last week in Miami. Like I know Salvin Ahmed was out there at one point and almost had a big fumble that cost them. But then AJ Dillon is just a slug, man. He's not going to be a fantasy football producer, I don't think. At least not in the situation and role that he's in right now. He would need to become like a Mike Tolbert-esque player where he's stealing touchdowns on a regular basis. I know that AJ or Aaron Jones, I call him AJ also, but Aaron Jones is out and it's tempting, but he's still a slug.
Yeah, I would probably go with AJ Dillon, but if I had that player on my bench, that you might be thinking, oh, well, they were terrible last week. Like if you're sitting Drake London because he only had 1 target or, I saw some people are sitting T. Higgins. He still had 8 targets you still got to play those guys. So I would probably look to my bench, but I would start AJ Dillon if these are my choices.
And I guess I would go Dillon as well, Jeremy. But yeah, I would look around. I'll take some peeks, see if Josh Kelly's there, see if Tyler Algier is there. Maybe that could be a play, last second change there. George, bolt up, my friend. I'm assuming you're a Chargers fan just saying this name, but he's busting out his Ryan Matthews jersey.
What? There was some Ryan Matthews highlights mixed in the Antonio Gates clip that they put up on the Matthews page today. 2010, Ryan Matthews making some plays.
Another Charger that could have been maybe not like a beast, but a really good running back for a long period of time that just injuries killed him. Injuries took him out. Injuries wiped out his career. Yeah, Ryan Matthews.
That's not just the Chargers.
It's true. He could score on any play. Like he was electric. Fun to watch. Fun player to watch. Josh Kelly or Najee. We already went Najee on this.
Yep.
Josh Kelly or Mike Pittman. Kelly's playing the Titans. Pittman's playing the Texans. Pittman almost got 30 last week, and Kelly did very good, even though he's being a backup. So what do I do? This is a tough spot because I was super low on Pittman heading into the season just because I was looking at the splits and how little Indianapolis threw the ball with Matt Ryan back there. And I know Matt Ryan was awful, but they just weren't throwing the ball at all. And I think when Jonathan Taylor does come back, that's going to become true again. They're not going to throw the ball at all. But for now, it looks like, they're letting Anthony Richardson loose, get the ball out to number 11. So I would play Michael Pittman, even though I was low on him at the beginning of the season.
I don't necessarily think that they'll throw the ball less. I just think there'll be more opportunities, maybe even a little more freedom for Pittman to get loose. I was worried about Pittman too. I dropped him in a dynasty league, which was really stupid. This horrible person I know picked him back up in the draft right before I could get him back on my team.
Was it Joe? It was Joe, wasn't it?
It was Joe Morley for sure.
I'm surprised.
I would start Michael Pittman and feel pretty good about it. Like I didn't see anything from the Texans last week where I was like, this is a tremendous secondary as of right now.
And we didn't get an injury report this week, Tony, but no Jalen Petrie, no Jimmy Ward, both out today. So the top of their defense.
Yeah,
they got backups in both spots. Jared Goff or Lamar? You got to play Lamar, Pedro. You got to play Lamar. Come on.
Yeah, he does pretty good against the Bengals.
Yeah. Remember that spin move? That nasty spin, one of Lamar's best plays.
Yeah. It's Lamar Jackson. It feels
Lamar
weird
Jackson.
to start Jared Goff over him.
And you could make a case for it. You could. But that's just overthinking at that point, Pedro. Play Lamar. Jared Goff scores more, you can just blame us. Now you have a fallback. Laporta, Joseph, it depends on who you got, but I think in a lot of situations, Laporta's a start this week just off the targets he got last week. Like it's hard to find a tight end that gets more than 5 targets per game in the NFL these days. Yeah,
I also just think that when I watch the Lions offense, there's not a lot beyond Amon-Ra. Like there was, I think there was a lot of things sunk into the idea that Jameson Williams was going to be a number 2 this year because they bring back Marvin Jones Jr. He just doesn't have it like he used to have it. Like he used to be a quality 2-3 type receiver in different places. He's not that anymore. He looked really rough in week 1.
Yep, and I think that's going to come back to haunt the Lions down the stretch of the season. Just saying. Rawr. Enrique Mendez, I had OBJ last week. Didn't do good. I think he had 1 catch last week. I have Hopkins, Mike Evans starting also, and Josh Palmer and Lazard on the bench. OBJ's 1 catch performance, Tony, got you scared enough to put in Josh Palmer or Lazard over him?
No, because you got Zach Wilson and Josh Palmer. You just have too much to compete with at this point. Unless you're keeping Palmer in Dynasty, he probably shouldn't be on your roster right now. And I know that you'll be upset if you drop him and then there's injuries to the other Chargers wide receivers. But and easily Josh Palmer could have 5 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown today. It's that, but you can't predict it. And when things aren't as projectable. I do think OBJ is going to be more involved in the offense this week. So
yeah,
I'll
play OBJ. And with Lazard, you're super touchdown dependent in that situation. And against this Cowboys defense, are the Jets going to score a touchdown? There's a chance that they don't, or they only score 1. So I don't think the chances are high this week in this matchup that Lazard scores a touchdown. And same thing Tony said about Josh Palmer. We put it on the tape last week. We watched the game back, and not surprised, we expect him to be out there. But Q1 was actually in a lot of packages that came out on 3rd down that came out where he replaced Josh Palmer in the lineup, and Josh Palmer was on the sideline. So that lowers the chances of Palmer, having a big game even more unless there is an injury, like you're saying, Tony.
Yeah. It sucks. Anyways.
You're the man, Joseph. You are the man. Bolt up. Gibbs, James Cook, Waddle, and Ridley pick 2. You should never be in this situation because your team is this stacked, Tony. But if you had to pick 2, you'd pick Jahmyr Gibbs and Calvin Ridley or Jahmyr Gibbs and Jalen Waddle. I feel like that's the choice, right?
Ridley and Gibbs.
That's why I'd play 2.
Yep.
A little bit high on Ridley. Just a little.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Dude. Najee.
Yeah, well, we were taking so long. He's like, hey, I don't know what's going on with this chat.
Just got news. Aaron Rodgers does want to play again, Tony. So good for you. You'll get to see number 8 back on the field for the playoffs, he said. Dameon Pierce or Tyler Lockett?
I feel like we already answered this one with Pierce.
You want Pierce, yeah. Lady shot caller in the house. What's up, Amber?
We're just getting the lady shot caller? She's gone.
Yeah.
Wet now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No chance in this one, Steven. All right, we're going to start speeding it up. TD, start Riddle and Ridley, and look at they're answering the questions for us. That's how far behind we are. All right, let me look for a new one here.
Talking shit about the Bears.
Raiders are losing today. You're right, Oregon boy.
Yeah.
Look at Joe. We got chats from when Joe was originally in the stream. D-Hop or Rashid Shaheed? The Chargers secondary just got cooked, Dylan. I know you watched it with us. There's a lot of Chargers fans in here today, by the way. Bolt up. More Chargers fans than Raiders fans, as it will be in SoFi in a couple weeks. But should he go D-Hop or Shaheed? I would go D-Hop just because of how much Tua and Tyreek just carved up our secondary.
I go D-Hop as well.
I'm going to go with Shaheed. I think it's for real. I thought it was for real last year. I'm a little upset that I didn't take a couple more shots on him at the end of drafts.
Did you see the mic'd up clip between Derek Carr and Shaheed right before that play up the sideline?
The access we're getting now and how immediate it is. I feel like we used to have to wait until inside the NFL summertime randomly they would have up something. But even there's a bunch of this stuff where you're just seeing it and they're telling them hey, the post is going to be open. That's who it was. It was Sauce when he was telling them hey, he's going to run the post. Just stay there. And then Whitehead picks it off. He's going over there. He's like, Shaheed, you're just going on a go route. It's I love to see that they have this ability to do it. I'd like to see it more Chargers. I'd like to see Herbert being hey, I noticed this thing. Go deep and you're going to catch a touchdown pass. That's what I'd like to see.
You could always relate to the quarterback telling the receiver run a go route. and the receiver is trying to put details into it, and Derek Carr just looked at him and said, "Just go, dude. Just go." Lots of fun.
And
All
he
right,
still underthrew it.
Algier versus. Now you're a Derek Carr hater, huh? Now you're a Derek Carr
I'm
hater.
just saying he underthrew that throw. It wasn't a great throw.
But if he made that throw on the Raiders, you would have been on your knees for this man.
Yeah, with both arms up.
Algier versus Green Bay or Kenneth Walker III versus Detroit. I would play Kenneth Walker in this situation.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tony?
Yeah. I don't think you can go wrong with either one, but I'm probably going to play Kenneth Walker.
Trent Richardson or Emmitt Smith this week?
That is brutal.
Which one do you think's gonna?
I'm taking Emmitt Smith falling asleep on the couch in the Pepsi commercial.
Joseph just started doing fantasy this year. Yeah, put Laporta in, buddy. Put Laporta in. Tell me this: Eckler is out. Najee splitting reps. Why is Najee more appealing than Kelly? Because it's not always just about reps, and even splitting reps, Najee might get more rushing attempts than Josh Kelly. And,
and you don't have
when
to
they
believe
say,
it.
Also,
if you feel like Kelly's a better option, go with Kelly.
Also, when they say that Najee's splitting reps, like, what does that even mean? Because I've seen Jalen Warren all over the NFL world this week, and everyone's saying put Jalen Warren in your flex. But then I go and look at the splits. He got 7 touches, and 5 of them were checkdowns. 5 of them.
Yeah,
it's cool for PPR.
Tajay Spears outsnapped Derrick Henry, and he still had like 1/3 of the amount of opportunities that Derrick Henry had. So the only reason why I'm saying that I wouldn't put Josh Kelly in is because of the defense that they're playing. The strength of the Titans is going to be the front 7. It's definitely the front 4, like the players they're having in and out of there. The opportunity for the Chargers to win today is going to be attacking a lot of deep overs. If they can get some play action going deep down the sidelines or the seams, like that's where they're trying to go after Fulton and Hooker being out. They're not trying to run Josh Kelly into Jeffrey Simmons and Danico Autry and who am I forgetting? Arden Key. There's another guy, Carl Landry. They're not trying to smash through these guys. That's a bad game plan. If they do, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, he's dependent on a touchdown, man. He's dependent on a touchdown, or maybe he breaks a big run where there's a leaky spot. But we said Kelly. We said Kelly over Rachaad White, right?
I said that I would play pretty much anybody against the Bears defense.
Oh yeah. Rachaad White is what Tony was saying. I was saying Josh Kelly, Colby. So your choice. Well, Joe, what would you say? Rachaad White or Josh Kelly?
I would go with White.
White. Okay, there you go. You got 2v1.
Of course.
I just want to know if we know that Elmo is a Raiders fan. I don't give a fuck who Elmo likes.
If he was a Chargers fan, he'd be so excited.
Njoku or Everett, but it's David Njoku's who he's talking about. I thought that you were going with Laporta, Joseph. Jesus. Which one would you play, Tony? I'm playing Njoku.
Deshaun Watson still looked kind of bad last week, and nobody really talked about it because the Browns won. And then I had to listen to a lot of people talk about how Herbert's average because he didn't get a last-second drive. A little bitter about it. I'm gonna start Gerald Everett.
What do you think, Joe?
Njoku. I don't know. We have somebody go on Monday night. Why not? Wait till Monday night. You get to start him and play him.
That is a good point. I do like having players on Monday night.
This is a tough one. Dalvin Cook or George Pickens? I'm playing George Pickens, but you guys know how I feel about George Pickens, and George Pickens did not go off last week. Okay, 3 for George Pickens, 0. Put George Pickens in on the Josh Kelly train. Oh, there you go. Career year coming up.
I hope that I'm wrong, Mike. Like, I hope we come back here and everybody goes, Tony's an idiot. He told us not to start Josh Kelly, and he had 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. I really, really hope that's the case. I don't think
Me too. I hope Josh Kelly just has a complete career turnaround. I've been on the Josh Kelly roller coaster ride much longer than all of you. Welcome aboard, everybody at home. Welcome to the roller coaster. All right, wait till we see that fumble.
Remember, he had like 85 yards and like a touchdown or 2 in a game, and then he had 3 straight weeks of fumbles and less than 13.
If the Rams beat the Niners today, Mike and I will come out and apologize to the Rams. How about that, Tony?
You guys are going to get the worst text messages from me if the Rams beat the Niners today.
I got the Niners winning.
But I have the Niners winning this week.
Yeah,
this is how far you guys are behind. This is how far we are behind. I lost internet connection 23 minutes ago. And I posted this, and we barely got to this comment.
Yeah, no, we are really far behind. Like when I said the thing about lady shot callers, and then she's like, "No, I'm still here." We still didn't answer her question. No question yet.
Luke Musgrave or Pat Fryermuth?
Pat.
That means the viewers are here, guys, and they're here, and they want our answers. They're filling the chat up this week.
Yeah, so let's rapid fire because we got some 10 a.m. games today.
Musgrave. Musgrave looked really good. Lots of opportunities. Yeah.
I'm going with Pat.
Play Pat. I will play Pat as well. Pedro. Keenan Allen or James Cook? Keenan Allen, bro. Keenan Allen's going to have 10 catches today.
I don't know why you can't have both of them in there, 0. I think both of them are great starts, but if I had to start one, I'd probably go Keenan Allen as well.
He plays
that Raiders defense, Joe?
Well, yeah, they have to pass it down. They got to dump it off all the time. James Cook should have a good receiving game.
Would you guys go with Knox or Tony? I can't play Tony. I will play Knox. Tony's the smart answer, though, Steady Chicken. But I'm an idiot that would play Knox.
You can't go wrong with Tony.
I really think that they're going to do some psyche rehab on Tony today. Like, I think they're going to have some opportunities built in for him to make some big plays. I would start Tony. This is Steady Chicken, the person who was blowing up my phone with all the craziness from that league.
Oh, yeah. It is. Yeah, I remember now.
Next. I just wanted to know.
See you later, Steady. You should hang out with Tony, actually. I think the O-line is legit. Oh, he's talking about Josh Kelly still. Hey, Simply Dad, if you believe in him this much, put him in. Put him in. Screw it. I asked earlier, Dylan or Mostert. Y'all said Dylan. I have Javonte Williams. No, play Javonte Williams. What are you doing, Jeremy?
1,000% play Williams.
He just left that out of the question. Didn't even give us an option of Javonte Williams.
I think he's trying to figure out. I think he has the 3 running backs, and he was like, I'm already going with Javonte, but should I start Dylan or Mostert? And then he's like, oh, wait, I should have asked them all 3. But, yeah, you had the right guys in there already.
Yeah, Javonte.
Yeah, Javonte should be there.
Evan Ingram or George Kittle? Ooh.
I like the way that they split out Evan Ingram a little bit more last week, where he was playing this wide receiver. They were getting him mismatched on small corners. So I think that game has a chance to be a huge shootout as to where, like, if the 49ers get up 21, they might not be passing the ball a lot. So I'm going to start Evan Ingram and hope for a 70-point, We were talking about it earlier, Caden. Sam Laporta was getting open often against this Chiefs secondary and against these Chiefs linebackers. I would go Evan Ingram as well, even though Kittle is kind of a Rams slayer. Joe, would you go Kittle?
I'm going Kittle, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it. Houston without 4 alignment today.
Yeah, it's getting really bad. Their injury report is bad.
That's going to make it even better when they win today. When you can be like, damn, with all those injuries, they still pulled it off.
No.
It would be impressive. I'm not going to lie.
Christian Kirk or Zay Flowers? I'll play Zay Flowers because I was kind of right about the Christian Kirk thing so far. It's only one game, though.
This bullshit of Mike, like, proclaiming himself king of the mountain 15 minutes after week 1, body
king
is
of
cold.
The fantasy mountain.
Week 1!
Yeah.
Did you watch it, though, Tony? Calvin Ridley was dominant.
He was dominant, and I did not love to see them putting Zay in the flex so much because that's where Christian Kirk is really good from. So there was some disappointing things that I saw, but it's only week 1. They paid the man $18 million a season. I think it's going to be fine. Zay Flowers, though, in this for sure, because he's the number 1 option.
I've tried to make some trades for Kirk this week just to get him on the low, and people are like, "Why do you want him?" I'm like, because he sucks. I just want him on my bench.
Yeah, I think he's too good of a player for him to not have a big year. I don't think he's necessarily a better player than Zay Jones, but I think he's too good, and they have a lot invested in him.
All right. I think he's gonna have a good year still. I just don't think he's gonna be as fantasy relevant as last year. Jahan Dotson or go ahead.
I was just gonna say he seems like somebody that I could see a team like the Patriots trading for.
Yeah, I can see that. Very Brandon Cooks-esque. Jahan Dotson or Zay Flowers? I would be so torn in this situation, Mr. Who Titans, but the Washington offense was hard to watch last week at times. I would put Zay Flowers in. I would.
As a Titans fan, he should drop them and pick up Nick Westbrook-Akine and Kyle Phillips.
Yeah, trade them for D-Hop.
Seriously though, I would start Zay Flowers. I'm starting Zay Flowers in as many possible start places to start him.
Offensive rookie of the year right there. That's your offensive rookie of the year, Zay Flowers. JSN or Tyler Algier in half PPR. As much as I want JSN to go off every single week because I am a JSN believer and supporter, I think it's going to be later in the season, and I would put Tyler Algier in. Don't punt. But you are a Seahawks fan, I see.
For that reason, I'd start JSN.
Yeah.
I'm starting JSN this week. I like Algier, but why not? If you're like, you got to love to beat people that you're playing, right? I've always said this. It's your fantasy team and you want to watch your team and you want to do it, put them in. You drafted them for a reason.
Romeo Doubs or Michael Thomas at flex?
Dobbs.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go Romeo Doubs too.
Didn't Dobbs have 26 receiving yards last week?
Did he?
I think he had 26 receiving yards on 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. 2, but I mean, is that
2 TDs?
I could be wrong. I could be wrong on the yardage. I feel like I might be tripping, but
I thought he had like 48 yards and a touchdown or something like that. Didn't he get?
He had 2 touchdowns for sure. But I remember looking at stat line being like, this was just 2 touchdowns. That's all it was the entire game.
Oh, I'm sorry. Touchdowns aren't good enough for you?
I mean, they are, but do you think he's gonna score 2 touchdowns every week and score 30 touchdowns this year?
Yeah, 26 yards, four catches, 26 yards, 2 TDs.
Nah, I'm putting in Mike Thomas all day, Zach. Put Mike Thomas in there. Don't listen to both of them.
And then he's going to watch Jordan Johnson break out.
Dobb City. Dobb City.
Yeah, you didn't miss it, Zero. We're here. Bolt up, Tony. Nuts and bolts. Oh, I am way behind. Bolt up, Pedro.
I missed it.
Stop asking questions, everybody. Stop asking questions. Kenny Pickett or Mac Jones?
I'm actually starting Kenny Pickett this week in one league over Dak Prescott.
How did you end up in this situation, Harrison? This better be like a 20-team league.
So I don't think Harrison's asking fantasy questions. Harrison likes to ask us like real life, hypothetical, who's better type questions. I'm not going to do that, but if just for this week in a fantasy thing, I think Mac Jones has a chance to go crazy.
I mean, playing that soft secondary in Miami, that I was told by Miami fans is top 5 defense. Do y'all believe that Sean Tucker can carve out a legitimate role in Tampa? We were talking about that earlier. TDs. Tony, do you think he's worth trading Roschon Johnson for? Roschon Johnson looked good too in his limited touches.
Yeah, it's the only reason that would scare me for a dynasty league is I think there's a strong possibility of a new coaching in there next year, and I'm not sure what that would look like, what they're looking for. But everything I saw from Sean Tucker, like he ran really decisive and hard. So it's tough. Roschon seems to be in a situation where I think the opportunities are more clear in front of him.
What do you think, Joe?
Roschon.
Okay.
So
Roschon it is.
I would make the trade.
Okay, Roschon it is. I would go for Roschon too. So that's 3 people. Josh is adding Jamal Williams to the mix here. I'm still going Mike Thomas. You guys going Romeo Doubs over Jamal Williams also? Get his 2 touchdowns today?
I would start Jamal Williams on Monday night against the Panthers defense. I feel a lot better about the Panthers than I do about the Titans.
Joe?
I'm still going Dobbs.
Okay, so you got 3 different answers here, Josh. Good luck with that one. Miles Sanders or David Montgomery? Leaning Sanders because of Gibbs. Would you play a double Lions backfield is what he's basically asking. And I would play Miles Sanders one more week, give it one more chance. But the Saints defense is no joke. you would probably consider it, right, Tony?
Yeah, yeah. I probably would consider it. I mean, it's tough to say that like how it would look because they had a lot of bigger box fronts for Henry last week. I don't know if they're going to respect Miles Sanders the same way.
Joe, what do you think?
I'd probably go with the David Montgomery and Gibbs.
There you go. Dual lines backs. You want to try it
Seattle.
out?
We're going against Seattle this week.
Yeah, we would consider it, Steven. So we're not saying it's a complete no. We don't got time for props.
Chuba Hubbard sneakily looked better. Like if you go back and just watch the runs,
I can't stand him. He's don't even get me started on the Chuba Hubbard rant. Anyways, Jahmyr Gibbs, Michael Thomas, or Mike Pittman. I would play Gibbs, comics nerd. Gibbs gonna have a big game this week.
Supposedly.
What do you think, Joe? Would you play Mike Pittman?
I would probably go Pittman, in my opinion, because they keep saying Gibbs needs to learn. I'm wondering if they're keeping him out because he's not picking it up. That's the way it's sounding like.
I'm going with Gibbs. Keep it rolling.
If he's not picking it up, then imagine when he does. I mean, he looks like a beast not picking it up.
They keep saying they want to slowly put him in.
Tank Dell season starts today. You heard it here first. So, no, I've been on Tank Dell season. Don't you worry, TDs. I drafted Tank Dell and dropped him, but I drafted him. That still counts. Elijah Moore or Najee Harris, Joe?
I don't know why you guys are always on Elijah Moore. There's no way. I've never got on the Elijah Moore train. Tony loves Elijah Moore, but I'm going Najee Harris.
Yeah, you can't play him over Najee.
You can. I mean, if Amari Cooper's out, come on. I probably would still start Najee though, but I could make an argument for it either way.
Are you here for sleeved up Herbert? Herbert's wearing an arm sleeve today. Probably on the left arm, I'm assuming.
Wait, why? Oh, are they just saw it somewhere?
Oh, you remember he sliced up. Like, he got a huge cut in last week's game on his forearm. I think maybe he's trying to cover it up.
Okay, no.
Yeah, he is the number one guy today.
I
Dobbs
think
is number one in Green Bay.
When Watson's there. Watson seems more.
Watson's out today.
I know, but I'm saying even when he's there, it's kind of one trick pony-ish.
I got two, Dylan or Algier. I would play Algier very narrowly. Which one? He probably asked another question that's coming up here. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I had a pick, I'd probably go Algier over Dylan. Even though I do like Dylan this week, but I'd probably go Algier.
What do you think, Tony?
I'm going Dylan.
There you go.
I think Packers front, if they have another week like they had last week, I think there's an opportunity for them to be a special defense.
All right, we're rapid firing the rest of these, okay? So just say the
No,
name.
you didn't, TD.
Ready? Here we go. Dylan, Mike Thomas, Kittle. I'm going Mike Thomas.
Mike Thomas.
Yeah.
Kittle.
Let's go, Tony. Mike Thomas, baby. Rams are going to win today. Hold on to your breath on that one. John Mechie making his debut today. That could be fun to watch. Keep an eye on that, everybody. Cooper is out.
That one?
Do I trust Drake London? I think you have to trust Drake London, A-Fix. And I think against this Packers defense, they're going to force – of course I skipped that one. I think against this defense, the Packers are going to force Atlanta to at least try and hit the sidelines a few times in this game. At least try it.
Well, your whole family is Raiders fans?
Yeah, that's
my sister. Sad. Happy birthday, Jessica! It was her birthday yesterday. My sister is a Dolphins fan, so she's loving life over you guys.
And Jake's gonna leave the Raiders eventually. I'm just calling it now. Jordan Love is top 5. You're crazy.
Vibby, that's good. That's funny.
TD, you're crazy. That's not true.
Oh, here we got one right here. Algier Zay Jones this week at Flex PPR. I like matchup upside on Zay Jones and not a fan of the update. Robinson's getting the majority of the snaps. I think that Tyler Algier's still going to get his dropify, but I love Zay Jones this week. I think that, like Tony was saying earlier, it is going to be a shootout between the Chiefs and the Jags. We're going to see a high-scoring game, a lot of big plays back and forth, hopefully. I would play Zay Jones. I would do it. I think he has a high ceiling.
I love how you threw his name in the middle of that when you were answering. Drop a five.
It's a great name.
I don't know. I can't even. I'm in so much pain right now. I can't even. Zay Jones.
Zay Jones, Tony.
Zay Jones. Put him in. Dak or Deshaun? I'm playing Dak. Even against Jets defense.
I'm not. No, damn, they both suck.
They both suck. There you go, Steven. They both suck. And that's it, I think. We did it. We made it through all of them.
Depends. On that one, how many picks? I mean, like in my league, my home league, if you throw a pick six, it's -5 points. So I'm wondering, like, what your quarterback situation is, because you might want to stay away from Dak and that Jets defense.
I was really hoping that 7 would start Dak over Geno Smith in a league. I was like, come on, all week. I'm like, just play Dak this week. Come on, he's projected for higher points.
Deshaun does not suck.
This was a lot of fun.
Deshaun knows about sucking, but he does not suck. Did any of y'all catch the Colorado game last night? This is the last comment. Coach Pryman's the GOAT. We don't talk about this for very long, but I will say I was on the Colorado State side. I'm rooting for the underdogs until they literally started targeting all of Colorado's players. Yeah, like that had to have been not intentional, but preached in the locker room, because there were so many dirty hits from the Colorado State Rams last night that was pretty disgusting to watch as a former player and football fan.
The hit on Hunter was dirty.
Yes, it was. There's one on the quarterback later too that's dirty.
Yeah, I think there was a little extra drive him into the ground on that one for sure. But I think
that dude Kamara was a beast. I was watching him and I was like, Tony will probably love this guy on the Chargers.
You're damn right I do. He was rushing from the inside. You could move him out to 5 a little bit, which was fun to see him rushing from out there. I will say this. When you play teams that are just better than you, like, you have to play on that edge. Like, otherwise you don't stand a chance. Like, when they just have more athletes than you kind of got to try to find a way to, like, be like, what is as physical and as they made it into a street fight? Because if they made that game about athletes, then they were just going to get run up and down the field. So they had to play. Like that guy who after he hit Hunter, that guy will be lucky to play in the Canadian or USFL or something like that.
It was a great game though, and I told Tony and I told you guys before that it had the makings of an upset just because of how much buildup. Like anytime teams build up that much, bringing in The Rock, bringing in Game Day, and talking so much shit, it would have just been fitting for Colorado to lose that game. But a great game in overtime, down to the wire. But we'll see. Colorado has Oregon and USC next, right?
Yeah. I was about to say that. I was telling my wife, like, enjoy this Colorado fun while you can.
So TD says something about Deion getting big recruits next year. I think what's even more important is that he wins the transfer portal. Like the guys that are already like really good players that have a few years of college experience that are like, hey, for whatever reason, it's not working out for me at my program. I'm going to go over there, and I'm just going to join up on a loaded all-star squad in Colorado.
It will be loaded in the next couple of years for sure.
All right, I want to see Colorado in the LA Bowl.
All right, everybody. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys again for another beautiful, fun, loaded starts or sits fantasy football wake-up call. We'll see you next week here on the channel. Make sure you guys like the stream before you go. Make sure you're subscribed with those notifications on. We'll have our Pick'em show actually on Thursday morning as well if you guys want to come tune in to that. Anything else, Tony?
Good.
Hopefully the Chargers don't put you in any more pain today. Joe, anything else? We know you're going to be in pain with the Raiders going to Buffalo, but you keep rooting for them as hard as you can, Joe.
Hey, either way, if the Raiders win or lose today, they'll still be at the top of the AFC West.
I don't think that's how that works, but
it did work because they got a division win, sir.
Yeah, but damn, we're not playing a division.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Get us out of here, guys.